Well, the Seahawks won. There's that. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, your host, the 21st day of October, 2025. Clear skies, 41 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Lots of sunshine today, lots of sunshine Wednesday. Things change on Thursday. Wet Friday night, wet Saturday night, wet Sunday. Snow level is going to start out at 5,000 feet and going to go all the way down to 2,500 feet. We are not going to be protected by the lee of the Cascades. We are in for a pretty cool, pretty wet weekend. In fact, the rest of the month of October looks that way. We'll have all that important details coming up. What Mother Nature has in store for us. News, we'll do that because that's one of the things that we do. You know by now that the Mariners will not be going to the World Series. Well, we got to talk about it. We'll have that in sports. Kraken didn't do too well last night in Philadelphia, but Seahawks won. They won at home against the Houston Texans. We'll get some reaction from that. We got high school soccer tonight. Moses Lake Mavericks in town to take on the Wenatchee Panthers and leave off the field of the Apple Bowl. Sebastian and Matt will call that for you at about 7 o'clock. And speaking of sports, you see there's a chair directly next to me. That means the next person who knocks on our studio door will be my guest. No, I'm kidding. Austin will be in because it's Tuesday. Hockey Talk with Austin Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. It's tour time. Here we go. What do we have in store for us with our PTZ cameras? There she is again. Our Wenatchee Heights camera, oftentimes referred to as the cross camera. It's kind of close to the cross, but not real close to the cross. We're still, what, half hour from sunrise? 7:29 this morning. Sunset is at 6:01. That's 10 hours and 32 minutes. We're still losing a little over 3 minutes of daylight a day. And by the way, daylight saving, which I despise, starts on Sunday, the 2nd of November. I don't know why we do that. We really got to quit doing that. But I'll get off my soapbox for that. We hit 59 yesterday, normal high 58, overnight low 39, normal 39, so temperature-wise, about as normal as you could possibly have yesterday. We're going to do it all over again today. Camera number 2, up to Billy Goat we go, which does not look anything like Kashmir, oddly enough. Few high clouds up there, beautiful sunrise. Omak, let me look, you're at 34, just above the freezing mark up there in Omak, and there are going to be some pockets that are susceptible to some colder, drier air down on the surface that will be below freezing towards the end of the week. So heads up on that. Next camera number 3. Oh, there you go. There's Kashmir. There we go. Which ironically enough looks a lot like Wenatchee. Speaking of the cross, you can see it. You can see it on Wenatchee Heights. This is the Omi Garden camera, of course, and they're about at the same height, which is why they kind of look across to each other. Good morning to our friends at Stamilt. Good morning to the Otabashian Bridge. Good morning to East Wenatchee. And that's a beautiful view there. Omi Garden, of course, is closed, but they are going to be having a work party to get it ready for winter on Make a Difference Day, which, by the way, is this Saturday. Ooh, the good captain is moving the camera around. So we're going to ask you now to please buckle your seatbelts and make sure your trays are in the upright position because we're running into a little bit of turbulence. There's the cross. Good job, Captain. And camera number 4. You know when he tightens the bolts on his neck, he does a lot better here. And that, of course, well, there you go. There's Kashmir. I think that's Stamen Flats on the way up to Lake Chelan. I'm pretty sure that's the butte that you see in the back upper left-hand corner of the Chelan Butte. They have a few clouds up there. Chelan, you were at 34 degrees. Do you like your Octobers cool and wet? You're going to love the rest of the month. We do this on Tuesday from the Climate Prediction Center. This is Sunday through Thursday of next week, so Sunday through basically the balance of the rest of the month of October, and we have a very good chance of seeing our temperatures below normal. It's going to be cooler than normal. In fact, in many locations in our viewing area, much cooler than normal for this time of the year. As far as precipitation is concerned, wetter. Look at all the green over the Pacific Northwest as the good captain gradually dissolves to slide number 2. There we go. Look at that. So yeah, it looks very good. About a 70 to 80% chance we're going to wrap up the month with cooler than normal temperatures and heavier than normal precipitation. A cool, wet end of October I have no problems with. We need as much precipitation as Mother Nature is willing to give us so we can finally bust out of this drought, which is now in year 3 Maybe we should issue a commemorative coin. I don't know. All right, so here we go. From our friends at Colonial Vista, 60 degrees, pretty much what we did yesterday. We'll see a little more sunshine today. We did finally get some sunshine, but it took a little while. It'll be a little earlier arriving today. 39 for the overnight low, another day. Wednesday, 60 degrees, looking good there. Partly cloudy Wednesday night. Going to start seeing a few clouds roll in. So Thursday is going to be a mixture of clouds and sun, but the real transition happens early Friday. By Friday afternoon, we are going to see some rain. About a 60% chance of rain on Friday. Friday night, 80% chance of rain. Saturday, 60% chance of rain. Saturday night, 70% chance of rain. Sunday, 50% chance of rain. Sunday night, 40% chance of rain. Snow level Sunday night is going to go all the way down to 2,700 feet. And by the time the sun comes up, Monday morning, the snow level will be down to 2,500 feet. All the passes are going to get some snow. Stevens could get about a foot of snow over the course of the weekend. We could even see a dusting on the higher elevations around the Wenatchee Valley proper. And by the way, they're very confident in all the computer models that spit out the forecast for the weekend. That's exactly what we're going to be looking at. Going to take a break and come back with your Tuesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
You won't be voting for Congress or the presidency this year, but local elections are the place where your voice can make the most difference. Wenatchee Valley candidates are lining up to serve on city councils and school boards on both sides of the Columbia River. NCW Life put all of them in the hot seat so you can find the ones who represent you the best. Watch our interviews at these times and dates right here on our channel or anytime online at ncwlife.com. You're watching the NCW Life channel. Your vote matters to us.
Just a few high clouds, 41 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley, right around 60. Lots of sunshine for the next couple of days. Start seeing some cloud cover by the time we get to Thursday, and by the time we get to Friday, and lasting pretty much right through the weekend, a pretty good dose of some much needed rain. 9 minutes after the hour, the Wenatchee area saw quite a bit of rain, of course, over the weekend, and that helped quench the lower Sugarloaf and Labor Mountain wildfires. The precipitation made it difficult in a lot of cases for fire crews to continue building fire lines, but Northwest Fire Team 3 now says with the change of seasons, there should be only a few more days of serious containment work before they can withdraw almost all of their crews and equipment. The Labor Mountain fire is 54% contained as of this morning. The lower Sugarloaf fire north of Wenatchee didn't get as much rain as the Labor Mountain fire, but it's already 99% contained. Operations Manager Britt Davis gave an update from the Aniet Fire Base yesterday morning.
Basically, this fire got a lot of water in the last 36 hours, and that has really changed the whole nature of what we're doing out there. Just yesterday, we still had all of our lower divisions in play, and yesterday the conditions were just so wet and so poor that they pulled the plug on the entire south side of the fire. We had a really big demob yesterday. because we've gotten to a point where for us to go out and repair stuff, we're going to do more damage to the roads than what we could actually repair. So the whole bottom half of the fire is gone. Juliet just has a couple of single resources out there, making sure all of our data is up to date, so that we can hand that off to the local unit. The same is true for Division November. It was just too wet for them to get in there anytime in the foreseeable future, so they have pulled out. So what we have left is what's going on in Division Kilo, and even that is only going to be a couple more days worth of work. They're just about finished up here in the Camas lands, and so they're in the process of kind of bringing equipment out and working on what they can as they come out. So, we probably have today and tomorrow, and then this whole fire is going to be off the map for us.
Okanagan County deputies say a man visiting his student girlfriend at Liberty Bell High School in Winthrop brandished a firearm out of his vehicle window last week. It happened on school property about noon last Thursday. The handgun was not pointed specifically at anybody, but the suspect allegedly shouted profanities during the incident, and that caused alarm among students who witnessed it. Sheriff Paul Budrow said his deputies located the suspect's Jeep on Twist River Road and detained him. He had allegedly denied having a firearm, but was booked on suspicion of possessing a firearm on school grounds. His Jeep was impounded pending a search warrant. Staying in Okanagan County, they have a new district court judge. Byron Moore is an attorney who resides in the town of Okanagan but keeps a law practice in Wenatchee. Okanagan County Commissioners picked Moore to take up the gavel from Judge Chancey Crowell, who's leaving the bench after 4 years as an appointee. Moore spent a year as a deputy prosecutor for the county and has acted as judge pro tem in Ferry County District Court for the last 2 years. A new report says North Central Washington residents who rely on the Affordable Care Act marketplace for health insurance may see their rates go up big. The enhanced premium tax credits, which helps make insurance more affordable for low-income families, are at the center of the federal government shutdown. U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell's office released a snapshot of how each county in our state will be affected without the tax credits, which are set to expire at the end of the year if Congress does not extend them. Premiums without the tax credits will rise 110% in Chelan County, 114% in Douglas County, and 118% in Grant County. Now, the open enrollment period begins November 1st in most states, including our state, and Campbell says if Congress does not act urgently, residents will be locked into the new premium rates. And there's a lot of new things happening at the Chelan and Manson Public Libraries, including the person who runs them. In July, librarian Vivian Edwards became the new branch librarian serving both the Chelan and Manson Public Libraries. It's a new position that unites the two branches. They're just 8 miles apart, makes sense, after the retirements of their previous librarians. She joins NCW Libraries after working in the Pierce County and King County library systems. Edwards arrives at a time of change for both libraries. The Manson Library reopened in September after the completion of its renovation. The Chelan Library is getting ready for its own remodel. That starts at the end of the month, and that'll close that library branch through the winter. And that's the news on this Tuesday morning. Another busy day for the crew. That's why I stay out of their way. Well, I don't really. I think I annoy them. Anyway, they'll be getting the news together so you can find out what's going on around here with the NCW Life Evening News. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the traditional air times. It'll be posted on our YouTube page. It'll be up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, right around 5 o'clock, so you can watch the news whenever you darn well feel like it. Don't forget, now we're on Roku. We're on Apple TV. We got that Amazon Fire thing going. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And if you have a news tip, send us an email. We've gotten some big stories because of you folks. Our email address is right there on the screen, news@ncwlife.com. Well, Mariner baseball. We'll talk about it next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life. Now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Is your yard outdated, overgrown, or just not working for your lifestyle? At Bailey's Pro Landscaping, they specialize in transforming ordinary outdoor spaces into beautiful, low-maintenance landscapes built for Central Washington living. From custom designs to full installation, they bring expertise, creativity, and craftsmanship to every job. Your yard has potential. Start your project with Bailey's Pro Landscaping.
Kun Sie mir das Problem sagen? Meinen Zylinder überschwimmt. Flute, ich habe mein Fugen verloren. Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragen schließen. Hey, you.
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Hand off to Zielinski around the right side. Got away from one man, got away from two. Squirts between
High school sports is back this fall on the NCW Life channel. Watch Eastmont, Wenatchee, and Cashmere games right here. Coverage is brought to you in part by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Watch high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life channel.
That's pretty cool, that shot right there. Well, the Seattle Mariners, as you know by now, will not be going to the World Series. They had 8 outs to go. They had a 2-run lead, and then George Springer comes to the plate and sends the go-ahead 3-run homer over the left field wall. That was in the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays go on to win the final 4-3. The Blue Jays win the American League pennant. Solo homers by Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh, plus an RBI base hit by Josh Naylor, gave the Mariners that 3-1 lead. That did not hold up in the end.
You might give up a run or two, but it's not the end of the world.
Ground ball right side past Guerrero. Here comes Rodriguez. Barger has a cannon, but the throw is late, and Seattle is on the board in the first inning of Game 7. Josh Naylor drives in Julio Rodriguez, and the Mariners take advantage of the leadoff double.
And that is a big, big run. That's only their 5th run produced not by a home run with runners in scoring position. So when you get on the road, you want to get ahead. Again, dim the crowd, which is going to be electric.
He's not going. Here's a bouncing ball left side. Cut off by Clement. The third baseman hits the runner. They get the out at second, but they won't get a double play. Wow.
Well, they teach you to make the guy get down. You throw right at him. And he turned his back and actually kind of jumped. So
the entire umpiring crew getting together here. They are going to say that he did go out of his way. And it's an interference on Naylor. So a double play finishes off the inning. Both teams got the leadoff man on in this first inning. Mariners were able to cash in. Blue Jays now down to 2 outs with Dalton Varsho climbing in. Varsho grounds one through into center field. Springer chugs for the plate and ties the game. Both teams with a first inning run. Varsho knocks in Springer. For the bottom 5 in Toronto's order in the wins in this series, hitting .383, 18 runs batted in. But you got to remember, this is still a young player. There's a lot of guys breaking into the major leagues at 24. He's in his 4th year as the franchise star. And now a 2-2 pitch. And a high drive to left center field. Lucas on the run. That ball's gone. Julio Rodriguez, in the biggest game of his life, is delivering. Doubles and scores in the first, homers in the third, and it's 2-1 Seattle. Farland fires. Cal hits a high fly ball, deep right field. It is gone. Raleigh joins Rodriguez, delivering in Game 7. The 2 biggest stars for the Mariners showing up when it matters most.
Seattle knows it. The rest of the country is about to find out on the year he had and the amount of innings he's catching, and just the man, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Wu's 1-1. Bouncing ball to short, could be two. Crawford running throw, double play. There it was, and they'll face Guerrero to begin the sixth. Seattle 3, Toronto 1. Counting outs, 12 of them from the World Series. Top of the order for the Blue Jays, George Springer at the plate.
He's in a position to tie the game up and possibly send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy.
High fly ball, left field, Arozarena, watches it go! George Springer has his Jose Bautista moment. This one deeper into the playoffs. This one could send him to the World Series.
I said I'm a little short. It's beyond frenzy here.
For the Mariners, their last chance. It'll come against Jeff Hoffman. Because the Blue Jays have blown everybody out in this postseason, he's only had one save opportunity. He threw 35 pitches last night, his most in 2 years. Rivas starting the ninth, and he's down on strikes. Hoffman flames a fastball by him, one away in the ninth. 2-2 pitch, two gone in the ninth. And the Toronto Blue Jays, the payoff. He struck him out! And for the first time in 32 years, the Blue Jays have won the pennant!
And obviously distraught Cal Raleigh talked about the disappointment in a rather somber clubhouse.
Thinking about what we could have done better, you know. You know, you look back at a lot of points in the game, and you know, where you could have taken advantage of, and or even the series, and yeah, so just disappointed. I'd been working all night, the sinker in, and you know, it just kind of leaked a little bit back to the heart, and you know, he put a good swing on it, and it's just something maybe you go back and look at. Maybe you should have won another pitch. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one with him and Vlad. You guys were killing us all series, so it was a tough spot to be in. I'm super proud of these guys. It was a great team effort. Love every guy in this room, but ultimately it's you know, not what we wanted, and it's you know, I hate to use the word failure, but it's a failure, and that's what we expected, was to get to a World Series, win a World Series, and that's, you know, what the bar is and the standard is, and you know, that's what we want to hold ourselves accountable to. But yeah, it hurts, but I don't want that to take away from, you know, like I said, I'm proud of the guys in this room. I thought we fought all the way to the end. Like I said, it was a great group of guys, and I love every single one of them.
Manager Dan Wilson talked about pitchers George Kirby, Brian Wu, and a disappointing end to a pretty good season.
Brian was throwing the ball so well. You know, first of all, George, I thought, threw the ball excellent, and then Brian picked up right where George left off, and you know, gave us a good spot to be in, and you know, after the walk, you know, hoping to get the ground ball, which we did, but it just found a hole, and then you know, knew Jimenez was going to bunt there, and you know, Bizzardo's been the guy that's gotten us through those situations, those tight ones, especially in the pivot role, and you know, that's where we were going at that point. You know, we felt really comfortable with him out there, the way he's been throwing the ball, especially in this series, and you know, it was a good spot for him. You know, you make your decisions, and you know, sometimes you know, you have to live and die with it, and you know, I think again, the way Zardo has thrown the ball all season long, we were comfortable with where we were, and you know, it just again didn't go our way. It was just an outstanding season, a great series here, but you know, it's tough to come up on the short end. I think all of us now have had a taste of how close we can get, and you know, how good this team can be, So I think, once you get that, that's what you're shooting for again the next year. And I know that will continue to be the goal. That was the goal this year. It will continue to be the goal is to get to that final step. And this year we're one game short.
The 121st World Series begins Friday night in Toronto. Blue Jays will be hosting the Dodgers. Of course, the Dodgers are the defending world champions. The Blue Jays won back-to-back titles in '92 and '93, but they haven't been back since. First pitch Friday night on Fox is at 5:08. Well, the Seahawks, we got to have some good news. Jackson Smith-Njigba was a one-man wrecking crew for the Seahawks last night. He caught 8 passes, 123 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks beat the Houston Texans 27-19 at Lumen Field. Zach Charbonneau scored twice on short runs, and the Texan offense scored just 1 touchdown, and that was in the closing minutes of the football game. Seahawks improved to 5-2 on the season. They've now moved into a tie for first place in the NFC West with the 49ers and the Rams as they head into their bye week. They don't play anybody. The Hawks will visit Washington on November 2nd. In fact, here are your updated NFC West standings. Isn't that a pretty little thing? With the Seahawks and the Rams in San Francisco all tied at 5-2. So after 7 games, the Seahawks get the weekend off. Good for them before they play Washington in the nation's capital on Sunday the 2nd. Well, Owen Tippett scored twice. Unfortunately, he plays for Philadelphia. And the Flyers beat the Kraken 5-2 last night. Jordan Eberle and Yanni Naiman scored for Seattle, which snaps a season-opening 5-game point streak. Joey Decord gave up all 5 goals on 21 shots through 2 periods. He was replaced by Philip Grubauer in the 3rd.
Around the wall, Berkeley Catton to the line for Cale Fleury. Fleury shot, tip, scores! Berkeley Catton sure to get the assist, his first NHL point in his first NHL game. Jordan Eberle applies the pressure. Couturier gives it up now for a Sealer shot, and he scores. Nick Sealer capitalizing on a Kraken mistake, a rare mistake from Decord behind the net. Here's Brink back to York. Brink again with 13 to go on the Kraken penalty kill. Puck to the corner. Brink to Forrester. Shoots under the bar. They score. Michkov to the far side. Zamula back door. Konechny scores. Work to the near side. Zegras to York. Down the slot. Scores. Top now, the Kraken will pick it up. This is Beniers down low. Jordan Eberle trying to shovel it in, but he lost the puck. Now it's picked back up. Yanni Newman, he scores! Here's Tippett. Off to Couturier, back to Tippett, a shot, tipped in, they score! Kraken will sit on the puck. They'll suffer their first regulation loss of the season, but still pretty up on this road trip as they head off to Washington, D.C. tomorrow night.
Yep, they're off to Washington, D.C. tonight to take on the Capitals. 4 o'clock is when they drop the puck. This will be their 5th game of their 6-game road trip. Prep volleyball, pretty quiet scoreboard last night. Most of the smaller schools were in action as we throw up that slide. And here it is. Liberty Bell got by Omak, Wilson Creek got by Bridgeport, and Cascade Christian took Orville in 4 sets. That's what happened. Here's what is scheduled. Lots of prep volleyball. They're getting to the tail end of the season, by the way. As you look at the schedule, a couple notes. The WIAA RPI index. In 1A, Chelan, the Goats, are the #1 team in the state. In 1A, Kashmir is #4 on the RPI index. In 2B, Tenasket is #4, and Manson is #11. And in the 4A RPI index, the Wenatchee Panther girls volleyball team is #5, and they will be at Moses Lake tonight at 6:30. Prep soccer schedule. Again, here are your RPIs. In 1A, Kashmir is #5, Cascade is #8, and they are both in action tonight. In the combined 1B, 2B, Brewster is #1. Good for them. Pateros is at #9, and Okanagan is #10. And in the RPI 4A index in girls soccer, Wenatchee is #7, and the Mavericks will be in town tonight. Wenatchee is 7-1 in Big 9 play. The Mavericks are 6-3, so a Wenatchee victory with just 3 games to go after tonight would pretty much clinch the Big 9 title. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen with the calls, 7 o'clock tonight from Leib the Field at the Apple Bowl. Enjoy. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. It's the bottom of the hour. Your obscure holiday is about a fruit that means an awful lot to the folks around here. A very, very important crop. I'm talking, of course, about the rutabaga. I'm being told it's not the rutabaga, it's apple day. It's apple day today. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why I said rutabaga. It is Apple Day. It's always celebrated on October 21st because that's where it's celebrated on October 21st. The average apple tree can produce about 800 pounds of apples. One of the most amazing things they've done in recent years, and I discovered this, is that an apple tree doesn't have to grow. In the old days, an apple tree would have to be about 5 years old before it could start producing apples. Now they've like cut that in half or even more. Basically, they can plant an apple tree and it can be producing apples in much quicker. Of course, apples are a member of the rose family. I think we all know that. It takes over 30 apples just to make 1 gallon of apple cider. I know. I drank a gallon last night. I'm just kidding. How many apple varieties are there? About 8,000 worldwide. In this country, there are about 2,500 different varieties of apples, but only the crab apple is native to North America. And apple trees, taken care of, can live about a century. And by the way, if you are afraid of apples, you have malsudolphin. You probably shouldn't live here. If you're afraid of apples, I would find another place to call home. It's 31 minutes after the hour. 2 significant discoveries happened on the exact same date, October 21st, 1520. First of all, Ferdinand Magellan and his crew went, "Hey, man, there's a shortcut. Look at that. We don't have to go all the way around. We got ourselves a little shortcut." Ferdinand Magellan discovers the strait that now bears his name. If you discover something, it's already there, but he discovered it, so you get to put your name on it. Ferdinand Magellan discovers the Strait of Magellan on this date in 1520, and that was the shortcut after that until they built the big ditch in the Isthmus of Panama. And on that exact same date, and on the other side of the planet, João Alvarez Fagundes discovers the islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon, just to the south of Newfoundland. Again, this was on the very same day. And he bestowed upon them their original name of Islands of 11,000 Virgins. The Islands of 11,000 Virgins were their original names. As you might imagine, the natives were not consulted. October 21st, 1879, 146 years ago today, Thomas Edison applies for a patent for the incandescent light bulb. And by golly, it worked. He got it, made a lot of money, and it changed America and eventually the world permanently. Wow, we don't have to use lanterns and candles anymore. Thanks, Tom. That was 146 years ago today. 59 years ago today, it was the spoil tip of a coal mine in Aberfan in Wales. It had rained and rained and rained. A huge bunch of water built up within the tip, and then it finally came down as a giant glumpy slurry. Look at that. Unfortunately, right in its path was the local junior high school and other buildings. 116 children attending the local junior high school and 28 adults, most of them teachers, were killed. Look at that. That happened in Wales on this date in 1966. And 50 years ago today, Game 5 of the 1975 World Series was on a Thursday. Cincinnati won. Friday was a travel day. They were supposed to play on Saturday. It rained in Boston. They moved it to Sunday. It rained in Boston. They moved it to Monday. It rained in Boston. The tension was unbearable. Finally, they got to play Game 6 of the 1975 World Series exactly to the day, Tuesday, October 21st, 1975. And in case you forget how it ended, here's how it ended.
And the wind blowing out. We've had 3 homers tonight, all to right field or center field. Carbo's was to dead center. The other 2 to right. There's a ball. There it goes, a long drive. If it stays fair, home run. We will have a seventh game in this 1975 World Series. Carlton Fisk becomes the first player in the series to hit one over the wall into the net. Red Sox win it 7-6 in 12 innings. And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there, Joe.
He took one step, knew it was going to be close, he knew it was gone, and it was dancing in the streets all the way around. Johnny Pesky greets him at first base, and he is dancing.
A lot of body English for Carlton Fisk. Watch it.
How many steps does he take? One. He waits to see it. Get over, get over.
He knew it. There it is.
By the way, if you saw the video, you saw that the Reds left fielder George Foster actually caught the ball. The ball was a home run. It hit the netting, and it fell right into George Foster's glove. He thought for a couple of seconds to toss it up into the stands. Instead, he kept it, and he kept it. And finally, in 1999, I mean, everybody wanted the ball, especially Boston Red Sox fans, and George Foster said, "This is silly. I don't need it anymore." And he sold it for $100,000 cash, that baseball, in 1999, after keeping it for about 25 years. That was exactly 50 years ago to the day. Birthdays. One heavenly birthday, but Alfred Nobel wasn't too sure he was going to make it. Alfred Nobel, of course, invented dynamite. And in Sweden, they thought he was dead, so they wrote an obituary. Turns out he wasn't dead. He read his own obituary, and he was horrified to find out that, according to the obituary that he read, that his lasting legacy is going to be inventing something that killed a lot of people. And so he said, well, I'm not dead yet. I can change it. And so he bequeathed his entire fortune, which was a lot, to create the Nobel Prizes, all because of an obituary that was prematurely published. Alfred Nobel, born in Sweden in 1833. Edward Charles Whitey Ford, New York native, Yankee Hall of Famer. His lifetime winning percentage is .690. That's the best all time. 16 seasons with the Yankees, all with his hometown Yankees. He was born and raised in the Bronx. He won 11 pennants and 6 world championships. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. His number was retired, the late Whitey Ford, born in the state in 1928. Steve Cropper, the guitarist with Booker T and the MGs and just about everybody else. He was the one who really pioneered that less is more. A great guitarist, Steve Cropper. I bet you a week doesn't go by when I don't play something that has Steve Cropper's guitar on it. He's 84 years old today. And Kim Kardashian, who is cousins, by the way, of our very own Tucker Wagner. I did not find out until this morning. She is 45 years old today. I wonder if she still looks like that. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. A brand new opinion from Mike Mad Dog Mignotti is on the way, and then it's Tuesday, Hockey Talk with Austin Drade. When we come back, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. The Medicare annual enrollment period runs October 15th through December 7th, and this year brings important changes to Medicare and prescription drug costs. I offer no-cost plan reviews to help you compare benefits and be confident in your coverage for the year ahead. I've specialized in Medicare insurance for nearly a decade and would love to assist you. Call or visit me today at my office in Wenatchee.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
Listen, home upgrades can be expensive.
But I've always had that DIY vision. Like controlling my thermostat remotely, or getting instant heat, and upgrading my insulation.
Some upgrades don't need a fresh perspective. With Chelam PUD rebates, it's easy to make energy-efficient upgrades that make your home more comfortable.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNulty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I post on Facebook. I post a lot. Most of it is challenging and what I might be considered controversial. Now, some time ago, I was posting about the legitimate concerns within the Christian church. Now, these posts elicited a strong negative reaction from a pastor friend of mine who insisted that the problems were not as bad as I was making them out to be, and that I should not be painting the whole church with the same brush. I disagreed, and I asked if I was pressing on a nerve. He denied this, as I expected. But there's some truth in this. If pointing out an issue to you results in a defensive reaction, sometimes, most times actually, we should stop and ask, what am I getting defensive about? Is there some truth in what I'm hearing? This is Mike Mad Dog McNulty, and that's my opinion.
If you're looking for the best wines and exceptional food to match, you may be looking in the wrong place. The most exciting new winery and bistro in north central Washington isn't in Wenatchee or Chelan or even Leavenworth. It's actually located just south of Wenatchee at the fabulous Crescent Bar Resort. Beaumont Cellars and Bistro is an all-new facility with amazing views, indoor and outdoor dining, and its own amphitheater. Sit back and enjoy wonderful wine and food with a different point of view.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center is bringing back the Haunted Museum for another scary year, October 23rd through the 30th. It's a guided tour called The Protocol, guaranteed to scare the most hardy of folks. Tickets are $25 online, $30 at the door, but tickets are limited. The Haunted Museum is not recommended for children under the age of 13. Tickets at the museum's website.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. Every Tuesday, Austin Drade, who runs media relations and does play-by-play for the Wenatchee Wild, drop by. It's a Tuesday tradition dating back to the late 1960s. And here we are again to talk about Wenatchee Wild hockey. Austin Drade, good to see you, my friend.
See you.
Not the best of weekends. To briefly recap, in Vancouver on Friday, we lost 5-2. Kind of in Vancouver. The Giants don't play in Vancouver. Don't ask. They play in another town. And then in Seattle, but not in Seattle, on Saturday, we lost to the Thunderbirds 6-1. So we got outscored 11-3 over the weekend. It's been a we won't gild the lily here. It's been a rough haul for the guys.
It was a rough weekend. We didn't get off to a couple of really good starts this weekend. Vancouver had pretty solid stretch in the first period where they were able to throw some in the net on us, and Seattle had about a 90-second stretch where they really took over the momentum of the game. And when this is a group that can certainly play back from a deficit. We saw that against Victoria a couple of weeks ago, but it's a group that, when you're down 3-0 early, it takes a lot of the wind out of the sails. And We battled pretty well on Friday night, but weren't ever able to put anything together to get back in it.
When you fall behind like that early in the game, you have a tendency to maybe overskate, or try to do too much, get out of your skill set. Is that what's happening? I
think that's part of it. You start looking at the scoreboard and you go, oh gosh, we've got to get these goals back. And then you start taking chances, and you start doing things you wouldn't normally do. Probably leave the game plan a little bit to try and get some fast track results. And hockey's not a game where you can count on doing that a whole lot, especially against a couple of pretty good teams. And Vancouver's got a solid one.
Yeah, they do. And Seattle's no slouch.
Yeah.
We'll give them that much. So what kind of positives can you tell? Again, we've played 9 games. We got a grand total of 4 points, and we're the only team that's only won 1 game this year in regulation. How's morale? How's the team doing here? Are they say we're fine? A lot of hockey to be played, that kind of stuff.
It was a quiet road trip home. It was a quiet road trip down to Seattle. I think part of that was how late it was and crossing the border about 11 o'clock at night. But it's. Morale is not bad. I think there's an understanding, like you said, there's a lot of hockey left to be played. We got 59 games to go and plenty of time to get there. So I think the guys are aware of that. I'm sure there is a little frustration that sets in when you start out 1-6-1-1, but there's no doubt these guys know the road ahead of them is a long one, and there's plenty of pavement on it.
And they got 2 gettable games this weekend. They're going to be in Penticton to take on the V's, a new old team, so to speak, our old friends from the British Columbia Hockey League. I love the South Okanagan Center. Might be my favorite arena that is specific to the level of hockey. It's not like the big one in Edmonton or Calgary that are NHL arenas. This is a specific to Penticton. The South Okanagan Center is a cool place to play. Great place and a good rival for us on Friday night.
It's a good rivalry. We've had that rivalry, like you said, since 2015 when we were in the BCHL, and they were our closest opponents back then. So probably not as big a rivalry for the boys, but certainly for our fans, for our organization, for their fans, for their organization, there have been quite a few excellent battles between our teams over the years, and the league has changed, the level has changed, but the rivalry certainly has not.
And of course, Penticton was one of the flagship hockey programs in the old British Columbia Hockey League. So moving up from the BCHL to the WHL is good for everybody. Although it does hurt the BCHL a little bit to have one of the Yankees of that league leave for the WHL. Probably dinged them a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, but Penticton's been a good fit in the Western Hockey League. They've got a facility and a staff and a recruiting staff and a front office. They've built a pretty good roster too that fits well in the Western Hockey League. So it remains a good rivalry. They've been a good fit, and they've certainly gotten off to a good start in our league.
I remember when we got the news, the big exciting news about Penticton this year, and then who's joining us next year?
Chilliwack is joining us. Sounds like there's a little bit of working in the background, whether it'll be next year, whether it'll be the year after, but Chilliwack is certainly in the works.
The first thing I heard when I heard about Chilliwack and Penticton is it's about time. It makes perfect sense. They're hockey crazy towns, and it's a big enough market to support them.
Yeah, and Chilliwack was in the Western Hockey League for several years, mid-2000s, and then they moved to Victoria. So there was a shift, I think, by 2008, where the Kootenay Ice moved from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference, and there was a little bit of expansion there with Edmonton as well. But that move over to Victoria in 2011, I believe, was part of the shifting over to the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference.
There's another team in our division that's struggling mightily, and that's the Tri-City Americans. And guess what? They're coming to town on Saturday. This could be some low-hanging fruit.
Well, they've got an excellent goaltender in Xavier Wendt. They're a team that has gotten off to some slower starts this season, so they're a team that'll be looking to jump on the board early. We'll need to jump on the board early too. I think that's a game where a good start is It's going to be a good harbinger of who's going to be the team that comes out on top in that game. But Tri-City, they bring in an excellent goaltender. They're trying to get the scoring around to go with. So certainly a couple of games this weekend that we know we can win. It's just a matter of putting everything together for all 60 minutes. The things that we need to fix are very identifiable. It's just a matter of going out and getting it done.
Promotions on Saturday with the Americans in the big city here. What's going on?
Yeah, so it's Halloween night, our annual Halloween celebration. Carl's Jr. Partnering with us on this one. And a lot of the traditional favorites will do trick-or-treating on the concourse before the game, and we'll have our costume contest on the ice during the first intermission. So celebrating all things Halloween at the game on Saturday night against Tri-City.
Carl's Jr., a restaurant that isn't here anymore. I thought I'd throw that out there.
Go to Ellensburg, get yourself
Here
a good
you go.
burger.
Ellensburg has one. How's David? Is David off the roof? Off the roof. He's not suicidal. I mean, is he off the deck?
David got off the balcony right about noon on Thursday last week. 3.5 days, I think, is about average for him over the 6 years that he's been doing it. So we were awfully close at the end of the day on Wednesday. I think we were down to about 78 tickets, and we were hoping he and we would be able to pull it out on Wednesday and get him off the roof for dinner. But
off the roof, you said it too.
I did too.
He's upset about Carl's Jr. Anyway,
we're hoping to get him off the balcony for dinner on Wednesday night, and got close, couldn't make it happen. But Thursday, got some late partners step up and help him get it done. So we got him home for lunch on Thursday, and I know he got some pretty good rest, and I think he's back at it again with a big game coming up on Saturday this week.
It'll be a lot of fun. By the way, Austin does this. He doesn't just sit around and surf the internet all day. He actually works when he's not calling games. Press release, NHL Central Scouting. These are the people who really know talent when they see it, and we got 3 folks who are in the spotlight.
Yeah, we've got Tobias Tversnik, our goaltender, who's been outstanding for us. He's faced a lot of shots, so some of the numbers are a little higher than I think anyone on our side would like them to be, but he's been excellent for us, and he's stopped more than a fair number of shots that have come his way.
He's wearing out his pads is what he's doing.
He's done an outstanding job for us. He's kept us in some big games this time around. He's on the list of preliminary players to watch for the 2026 NHL draft. Kalen Jodry, who's in his second season as a forward for us, has done a great job. He's part of that development that we've put together over the last 3 years. And then Darian Rolsing, who's a tall, physical defenseman for us out of Germany. Picked him up, picked Tversnik up in the import draft back in July. They're all on the preliminary watch list for the upcoming NHL draft this summer. So they're what's called C-rated right now, which means NHL Central Scouting, which is an NHL department in the league staff. They're anticipating these guys are likely to be probably 4th, 5th round draft picks when the summer gets started. So now NHL teams will be putting extra attention, extra notice on these guys and other guys on the in the league on that list to say, hey, maybe we need to be taking a look at these guys for part of our future in the league.
And I believe this is the first time in Wild history that they've had 3 players land on this list at the same time?
Yeah, we had Miles Cooper on the list a couple of years ago. Didn't have anybody on the list last year ahead of the 2025 draft, but it's been about 2019 or so since we've had 3 players on the list. We've had, I think Matt Savoy and Connor Geekie were both on the list right before they went, and they received A ratings, so they were expected to be first-round draft picks, and definitely were middle of the first round there, but it's first time that we've had 3 players on that list since the team was in Winnipeg for the first year in 2019.
On the road in beautiful Penticton on Friday night, back at the Town Toyota Center. It's been a while since we've seen them. Saturday night with the Tri-City Americans in town. WenatcheeWildHockey.com, WenatcheeWildHockey.com. We're going to take a quick break and come back and do your weather forecast. You ready for rain? It's a-coming. It's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Stupid Life channel.
Bratwurst and beer are not your only options this Oktoberfest. Walkabout Grill brings the sizzle to Leavenworth with bold fire-grilled flavor. Build your bowl, grab a local brew, and celebrate Walktoberfest in style. Downtown Leavenworth, just steps from the beer gardens.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa is having their biggest sale on swim spas and hot tubs. With the biggest deals of the year, save up to $6,000 on a swim spa or up to $5,000 on a hot tub. Did you know hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis? Blue Lagoon enjoys helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Let the experts at Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa handle the installation and regular maintenance. Relax, knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa. Give us a call today.
Scare Crazy in Kashmir. It's a spooktacular good time all month long in Kashmir. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yeah, it's Scare Crazy in Kashmir. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Kashmir, and be sure to thank these fine sponsors. Get coverage you can trust from Bruce Cheadle, your State Farm agent. Doan's Valley Pharmacy in the heart of downtown Kashmir. Enjoy a treat at their old-fashioned soda fountain.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority. Temperature hasn't moved at all, really. A couple of degrees. We're at 39 right now. You can definitely tell the days are getting shorter. Look at that. We showed that photo, Austin, about a half an hour ago. That's kind of below the Knaps Hill Tunnel as you go up 97A and you start climbing up and you go through the tunnel on your way to Lake Chelan. If you would just stay along the river, that's what you would see. That's pretty cool. That's the Chelan Butte in the upper left. Yeah, it is. It's a gorgeous view. This isn't like Iowa, is it? Your hometown.
Three-dimensional living.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. He's from Iowa. He's a proud Hawkeye. Omi Garden camera looking out over the Stemilt area. Have you ever been to the Stemilt retail store? Mm-mm. It's their retail store where they sell fresh fruits and vegetables and knickknacks and patty whacks, and they occasionally give the dog a bone. It's worth checking it out. It's pretty cool as well. Nice view from our Omi Gardens camera. And up to Billy Goat we go. That camera, Austin, is a little over 7,000 feet above sea level. That's pretty spectacular. You see that little protuberance in the upper left-hand corner? That's Canada.
I was going to say, is that British Columbia
That's
or
Canada.
Idaho?
It is. Pretty spectacular, huh? You like your October's cold and wet? Well, it's going to stay cold and it's going to stay wet. We do this on Tuesdays from the Climate Prediction Center. This is Sunday of this week to Thursday of next week, basically the rest of the month of October, and we have a very good chance of seeing our temperatures below normal after an unbelievably warm summer, one of the warmest summers on record. Here we're on to a pretty chilly autumn, and check out the odds of us getting some rain or even snow in the same time period. Again, this is Sunday through Thursday. Very good chance of seeing our temperatures below normal and above normal precipitation. I have no problems with that. They crunch the computer models, and the National Weather Service says, there you go. That's an optional sound effect. You don't have to do it yourself. Sunshine today, just about 60, which is just about what we hit yesterday. 39 for the overnight low tonight, right up to 60 again on Wednesday. We'll start seeing a few clouds Wednesday night. The clouds and the sun are going to have a little tug of war on Thursday. Eventually, late in the day, the clouds are going to win that. And although it says 60 for the high, 50 for the high on Thursday, it's actually 60, not 50. Don't panic there. And then starting Friday afternoon, rain. Friday, 60% chance of rain. Friday night, 80% chance of rain. Saturday, 60% chance of rain. Saturday night, 70% chance of rain. Normally, we're protected by the lee of the Cascades for systems that come in from the Pacific Ocean. Usually, it dumps rain and snow in the Cascades, and we don't get too much here in the Wenatchee Valley. That's not going to be the case this weekend. It is going to have a lot of rain, especially, by the way, on Friday night. Sure enough, just in time for the football game. Have a good and safe Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.